Hello, today we are going to talk about database migrations. Your database evolves along with the project. Every time you need a new table or table structure changes, you might want to keep track of database changes and version control them, the same way you do it with your source code. This feature is called database migrations and saves a lot of time during the development, allowing you to update both the data as well and the database schema with just one click. As a software developer, you want to be accustomed to modern techniques and tools to do your job in the most efficient way. That's why it is important to use and benefit from database migrations within Yi2. In this video, I will explain you the most essential features of database migrations in Yi2. We will see how to create tables and how to insert the default data into tables. I'm Lars from Digiterry. Let's begin. Since we have a project description, we can rename our project to Acme. Let's do it first in our repository. So here we rename to Acme in our settings. Then we can also rename in our project in NetBeans. So we'll go to rename, we put here Acme, also rename the project folder. So we can now reset our remote URL. We go to our git bash. So we navigate to our project. Git remote set URL origin. Now we go to our repository and see here what our SSH connection here. We just copy and paste it. And let's test it. Git push origin master. Okay, it works. Now we can start with our database migrations. But first, we quickly take a look at our Yi2 structure. For now, it's only interesting for us migrations and configuration. In the next lessons, we will go through each part of our project. Configuration file consists of configurations for our project. It's web, it's the main configuration. Here we can see the database configuration file. And in our case, we will change this part. Our migrations folder will consist of our migrations files. We can now create a database for our project. We first start our Apache and MySQL, our web server. And then we can go to our MySQL workbench. And the last lesson we created acme_db with our tables. In this lesson we will create a new table, new tables and new database. Database we will call Acme. So we create a new schema, we call it Acme, and the collation will be UTF-8 Unicode CI. Apply, create. Now we can, in our NetBeans, change this part. Database name, we already know it, it's Acme. We are using localhost, so please pay attention also on your username and password. So in my case, it's root and I have no password. Let's see now how we use migrations in our Yi2. We go to Yi2 migrations. And here we can see we use Yi, migrate, create, and then we say the migration name. It's not just table name, because it's possible that we are deleting table or adding column. That's why we have to say what are we doing. So we say create table, and the table name is news. Let's choose some simple table. Let's say it's place. We can see the structure of this table. So it has no foreign keys, it's just one index, it's primary key. So here we can start with this table. So we go to Yi, we migrate, create, and here create table, we say table, and then we say place. So it is asking us whether to create this PHP file, we say yes. So migration was created successfully. We can see the file here. This is our migration file for our place table, for our creating table. Each migration file consists of up and down functions. So we mainly say in up what we want to migrate or what we want to change. In down, we say how we want to revert it. If we are creating table in up, we should remove this table in down. If we are creating some column, we will just remove this column in down. If we are changing some column, then we will revert our changes in down. So let's create migration for our place table. So we start here from ID. So we say here we are creating, so this, and then create table. Then we say the table name, so it's a place. And now columns, we say what kind of columns we have. So the first column is ID, which is primary key. We just use, every time we use this, so we can also here see the tooltip. So this primary key, and it's also unsigned. So the second column is place ID. It is also then this, and it's a string. And we see here how long is it. So it's 45, and it's not null. It's not null. Not null. The next one is latitude. This is also string. Also 45, and also not null. So we can copy it. For longitude is also the same. Then we have country code. So it is varchar 2, and here we have country code, and we have also East country. So it's either 0 or 1. That's why we can use here boolean. So we have here also boolean. So that's all. And in down we should remove this table. So we go to this. We should drop this table, drop table, and then table name is place. So that's all. So we can see here we are creating table in function up, and we are dropping table in function down. Let's see how it works. We can see we migrated. So we should scroll it till the end, and they say here apply migrations. It's just migrate. We go to migrate. So we have here error. We can see what kind of error is this. Okay, it's search for to basic. We can see, okay, I didn't save it. I just save it now. I didn't save the file. So I try it again, migrate. So it sees the migration file and asks me whether to apply it. I say yes. So one migration was applied. We can see our database now. So it was ECME. So we refresh it. We can see here, we have here migration table. We see here, we see the base and then the time, and then we have create table place. So it was applied here. I will explain you later what does it mean here. So we go to place and see what it's okay here. So we see, okay, we forgot here not null. So we can fix it now. So but mainly it's the same like we have here. It's the same. Yeah, whether here's is country tiny int 1 is better because we only use 0 or 1 to say whether it's country or not. So now we can revert it to fix our default version here, default value. So we go to git bash and say migrate down. Yes, I want to revert it. We can see what happened here. So we don't have this table. In migration, I have only base and reverted one. We see that it didn't happen. So we go here and in our migration file we use not null, and now we can migrate again. We see it works. So we refresh it and see. Okay, let's go to the next table. So it's place length, for example. We close others. So we see here also we have now foreign key. We have here 2 indexes and only 5 columns. Let's create a migration for place length table. So we go to E2, migrate, create table, place length. Yes. We have the file now. We can see here. So let's see. We have this create table. Table name is place length, and we have the following columns here. ID. So ID is a primary key. So we say it's primary key. It's unsigned. Then we have here place ID. So it's integer. And it is unsigned. Then we have locality. So we know already it's how to specify strings. Chars string, here's 45. So not null. Here's also not null. We can also just copy it, because for country we have the same. It's a country name actually, country string 45, and then we have language code. So it's country code, whether it's English or Russian or whatever. Language. So we say here, we just copy here. We say it's 2, not null. And in down, we just drop the table. And table name is, I just copied. So we're dropping this table. Now we should not forget to create indexes and foreign keys. So here it's very important to create first table, then index, and then foreign key. So we go now first. This create index. So here we say first the index name, So index name, we can say it's index, and then it's for example, table name, place, length. It's completely up to you what index name you want to give, but you must be consistent and must be unique within the database. I call it always index, and then I say the table name, and then I say column name, and then the another table. So when we are specifying index, and we also say the table, it's a place. The current table means place, length, and then we say the column. It's a place ID. So we can also write it in one lane. After creating index, we can create the foreign key. This add foreign key. So the name of foreign key, it's always, I say foreign key, and you can just copy this. Foreign key for table place length, for column place ID, in referring table is place. So here we have place length. So we say which column, to which table, and to which column in this table. So we created index for the table, for the column on this table, and then we create the foreign key for this column. And in down, before we want to drop table, we should drop the foreign keys and remove the indexes, and then we can drop the table. So we go first to this, then we say drop foreign key, so the name was foreign key, and in which table, in the table place name. So then we remove our indexes, these, drop index, so the index name is this one, and in which table. So this is our second migration. We can try it now. We say ye migrate. It asks me to add only this migration. As you see, only create table place length migration. It doesn't ask me to create the first migration because we already migrated it. So the ye knows it from the migration table, because it sees here that we have already migrated create table place, and it sees also when did we migrate it. It's also important which migration must be executed first, and then which one the next one. So because when we want to create a foreign key for our place length, it's supposed to be that place table must already exist. So that's why it's important here also to see the apply time. So ye makes it everything for us. So we say yes. It added also foreign keys here. Let's check how it works. So here we update it in migration. So we see here table place was migrated, then little place length. So we can see here also then. So it looks here good first, and we can see also foreign keys. Yeah, foreign keys are there. The main difference is only in this place. So when we say restrict on update and on delete, so it's can be easily also done by adding foreign key. So you can see also here they are by default null and null. Delete and update, we can also say here, of course, we can see here, for example, on delete restrict restrict. On update, we can say cascade. So let's try it. So I don't want to make down for both migrations. I want to only down for this migration. That's why we can here use migrate down and only the last one. And it asks me whether I want to call down function for place length migration. I say yes. So it must drop the foreign key, it must drop the index, and then it must drop the table. So we can see here. So the place length is not there. Migration, we also see it was removed. We go and say again migrate, yes. So let's check now. We see here foreign keys, as we said, on update cascade, on delete restrict. So you can easily create migration for another tables. The last one, which I'm going to explain, it's for the country. So as we can see here, there is a country table. So it's actually very easy, but in this case, we are going to use our save up and save down functions. So let's try it. We go to migration, migrate, we say create, and then create table, country, yes. We can here, so go to migration file and here, so we see here this, create table names, country, and now columns. So we create ID, this primary key, unsigned, then we have here code, so it is string from 2, then we say it's unique within this table, then we have a name, string, it's 80, then we have a phone code for this country, it is integer, okay, this integer, so we have here 5, and then latitude and longitude, so I'll copy it just from place table, we have already this, 45, and in down we just drop this table, this table, and table name is country. Actually, that's all, but in our case I wanted to insert the default data in this table. I have already another database with exactly the same table and I can just copy it. So in our case we will use save up and save down. So these functions are executed within the transaction. What is transaction we will take a look a bit later. Let's copy it here first, up. So we uncomment it and we put here down and save down. We can remove up and down here. So now it should work, but we want to insert the default data. We can insert data after we created a table. We go to apply migrations and we say here insert. So here they also say how we can insert. This insert the table name and then the columns. So we go here, this, insert, then table name, country, and columns. Let's put first some dummy data. As a code we say, for example, Germany. Okay, we use the big ones. Then we say the name, for example, Germany. Phone code. So it's I don't use plus because we're using here integer. That's why plus is always there. We say just 49. Actually, it's plus 49. And then, latitude and longitude. We can just put something dummy here. So the ID will be inserted automatically. And before we want to drop table, it would be good to delete this first. And that's why we say this, delete, table, and then condition. We are deleting from country. All these data are dummy data. So we should delete dummy data before we want to drop the table. So conditions are here. For example, code. Code is unique, that's why I can use like this. Now we can try it. We say git migrate. It asks us to migrate the country table. And then we can see here country table was migrated, and here we also see the default data. Now we can revert the last migration. Yes. So now it would be interesting to see how we can insert several entries. Insert only works for the single entry. For this case, we're gonna use this batch insert, table, columns, and rows. So we specify here country, we specify here columns, we say ID, code, name, phone code, latitude, longitude. And then we specify here the rows. As you can see here, I'm specifying here ID because it's now easier for me to copy paste it, but actually you don't have to specify ID here because it's auto-incrementing here. I will just copy and paste from my table from another project. You can also get this from my GitHub account. So here we have all countries now. And of course we should delete them. But in our case, we don't know how to delete all of them. Of course, I also can here to delete a single one, but we just say here delete everything from country. So let's test it now. We say migrate, yes. And then we can now refresh it and see here. So our countries are there. just test how it works, how to revert it. Migrate down the last one. Yes. Yes, we can see it was deleted, and then drop table was also successful. Okay. Let's talk about now save down and save up. So we can see here everything what's done inside this save up function. It's done in transactions. Transactions are first of all needed when execution of multiple SQL statements stops and the operations are uncompleted. Transactions help to recover from a failure and keep the database consistent. Let's quickly see how it works. We start transactions, which has, for example, several SQL statements. Now imagine that one of SQL statements fails in the middle or in the end of your statements block. The transaction allows you to revert the changes made in the database before the specific erroneous statement, which breaks the execution. Thus, we ensure that the database never contains the result of partial operations. We have already migrated place and place length and country tables. The rest you can migrate and try it yourself. The SQL dump you will find attached to this video. And that's all for this lesson. In this video I told you about database migrations. We have created migrations for the database in our E2 project. Moreover, we took a look at database transactions and how to use them in migrations. Finally, we learned how to create tables and insert default data. Now you can employ database migrations for all your E2 projects and save a huge amount of time by controlling database changes and updating it in an easy and elegant way. I would encourage you to follow the course, where I will explain you the CRUD concept and tell you about many other exciting features of E2. Thanks for watching. I wish you much fun with coding and good luck.